Battle of the Brains, presented by Invest 529. Central Virginia's high school academic quiz show. Today's match features Ocean Lakes High School versus Douglas Freeman High School. Let's play.
Good morning and welcome to Battle of the Brains, Central Virginia's longest-running high school academic quiz show. I'm Cheryl Miller. Since October, teams from all across the Commonwealth have been competing for this moment. This is our championship match. Today's teams have bested the dozens of others trying to make it to this point and are competing to win a $10,000 scholarship, a trophy, and bragging rights for their school. Our second-place team will take home a $5,000 scholarship. Congratulations to this season's semifinalists. Teams from Richmond's Maggie Walker Governor School and Chesapeake's Oscar Smith High School each earned $2,500 scholarships for their school. And congratulations to both of our teams here with us today playing for the championship. The academic athletes competing for this season's top honors are the Dolphins of Ocean Lakes High School, coached by Miranda Blazer and Lisa Gibson. With almost 1,900 students, Ocean Lakes is a public high school in Virginia Beach. It features the Math and Science Academy, founded 30 years ago as the first of several magnet programs in that district. And congratulations to the Mavericks of Douglas Freeman High School, coached by Orion Altman and Jason Abril. Freeman High School is part of Henrico County's public school district, the school offering a specialty center for leadership, government, and global economics. Our championship match today will consist of 3 toss-up rounds and a category round. Players will buzz in and wait for me to call on them before giving their answer. Interruptions of questions are allowed, but if the answer is wrong, the team will lose points. There's no deduction for an incorrect answer to a completed question. All right, students, welcome back for the biggest game you'll play all season. Let's start the first toss-up round in our championship match here on Battle of the Brains. The U.S. government's 20th century war on poverty was declared by what president? Jackson.
Lyndon B. Johnson.
That's correct, in his 1964 inaugural address. This improvised weapon saw heavy use by Russian troops during the Winter War.
Molotov cocktails.
That is correct. Jean-Baptiste Perrine verified Albert Einstein's mathematical description of this phenomenon, which is caused by the collision. John.
Gravitational lensing?
That is incorrect. I'll finish for Ocean Lakes. Caused by the collision of solvent molecules and suspended particles. Name this stochastic random walk motion first observed in floating pollen grains. Clark.
Brownian motion.
That is correct. This title character holds the position of senior tempter in the lower key. Name this title devil, whose letters form a work by C.S. Lewis. John.
Lucifer?
That is incorrect. Ocean Lakes? Clark?
Mephistopheles.
It's actually screw tape, the screw tape letters. What is the name of the Argentinian mountain which ranks as the highest peak in all of South America at over 22,000 feet? Clark?
Chimborazo.
That is incorrect. Douglas Freeman? And that would be Aconcagua. You may need your pencil and paper for this one. If you put 4 dots on a paper so that they form a quadrilateral, how many straight lines can you draw to connect the 4 dots? Jackson.
6.
Correct. It is catalyzed by carbon, nitrogen, and oxygen in the CNO cycle, whose net result is transforming 4 protons into 4 leptons and a helium nucleus at a temperature. Jackson.
Alpha decay.
That is incorrect. At a temperature of millions of kelvins, name this process that forms heavier nuclei. John?
Nuclear fusion?
That is correct. General Augusto Pinochet, the former dictator. John?
Chile?
That is correct. What South American nation? Former Supreme Court Justice Potter Stewart once said, "When everything is classified, then nothing is classified." His remark was in reference to a 1971 case. Jackson?
Nixon.
That is incorrect. I'll finish for Douglas Freeman. His remark was in reference to a 1971 case about documents detailing the U.S.'s involvement in Vietnam that were leaked to the press. By what collective name were these documents known? John?
The Panama Papers?
They were actually the Pentagon Papers. In 1946, in renouncing his divinity, the Emperor Hirohito, John?
Emperor Japan? No.
That is incorrect. The Emperor Hirohito effectively ended the reign of what faith as Japan's state religion? Robinson.
Shinto.
That is correct. Shintoism. Carmen and the Fishers of Pearls were among the operatic works of what? Cole.
Bizet.
That is correct, 19th century French composer. The Book of Common Prayer is one of the most significant of liturgical works that have emerged from the Reformation. It was written by the leaders of what Protestant denomination? Cole.
Anglicanism.
That is correct, the Anglican Church or the Church of England. All right, teams, turn your attention to the monitors. Listen carefully and watch for a video question from a member of the Battle of the Brains Brainy Bunch. You must wait until the question is completely finished before buzzing in. Early buzzes will not be honored.
Michael Peter Bizzari is the bass player and a founding member of the Red Hot Chili Peppers. By what name is he better known?
Jack.
Lee.
That is correct. The first Grand Inquisitor of the Spanish Inquisition, Tomás de Torquemada, was a member of which religious order? Cole.
Jesuit.
That is incorrect. Freeman? John?
Franciscans?
It's actually Dominican. And that buzzer is the end of our first toss-up round. Good job by our team so far, but a lot more questions yet to come. Up next, we'll introduce you to today's players, and then they'll take on the category round when this championship match continues here on Battle of the Brains.
Miss a week of Battle of the Brains? Want to catch up on the full season of play? Watch full episodes on our YouTube channel.
Welcome back to Battle of the Brains.
Here are the scores following the first toss-up round on Battle of the Brains Championship. Our team from Ocean Lakes High School with 50 points. Our team from Douglas Freeman High School with 10 points. And we'll get back to our big game just ahead. But first, we want to tell you a little bit about today's players playing in the championship round. First, let's meet our team from Ocean Lakes High School. Robinson Chen is a junior who is the SCA Communications co-chair and enjoys combat sports and learning about history and religion. Next up is Clark Smith, who is a junior, plays on the track and cross-country teams, also is a musician, plays cello in the school's orchestra. Our team captain is Jackson Crickard, who is a senior who plays the cello, also sports, soccer and water polo, and hopes to study aerospace engineering in college. And wrapping up our team is Cole Graninger, who is a sophomore, is involved in Model UN and Amnesty International, and enjoys language and history. That is our team from Ocean Lakes High School that has made it now to the championship match. And they are playing against our team from Douglas Freeman High School. The Mavericks are coached by Orion Altman and Jason Abril. First up on our team is George Thrower, who is a freshman, fences at the our first member is Amber Park, who is a junior, as an active participant in community service initiatives through the local church, has over 500 hours playing Elden Ring and plans to study English and communications in college, English and/or communications. Our team captain is John Thrower, who is a sophomore, is a member of Freeman's new robotics team, and as a Terra speedrunner in his free time, plans to major in physics. Jack Harris is a junior whose interests include arts, theater arts, and film, and performed in a number of high school productions this year, including Chicago. And wrapping up our team is George Thrower, who is a freshman and fences at the Richmond Fencing Club as the brother of John on our team and is ranked 30 in Brawl Stars. That is our team from Douglas Freeman High School playing in the championship round here today on Battle of the Brains. And now our teams are going to tackle the category round. Each team will select one 10-question category from today's choices. If a team gets all of its questions correct in the allotted time, they'll receive a 20-point bonus. All right, teams, take a look. Here are the categories from which you may choose. They are political writings, mythological goddesses, and famous Johns. And we do note that in this round, only the captains can officially answer for the team, though they may confer with their teammates to try to come up with the correct answer. By the rules, the high score team gets first choice of category. That is our team from Ocean Lakes. Jackson, quickly talk it over with your teammates. Let me know what category.
We'll take mythological goddesses.
All right, identify these goddesses from the following clues. The first is Egyptian goddess of motherhood and magic.
Isis?
Correct. Chinese lunar goddess.
No answer.
That would be Chang'e. Hindu goddess of knowledge and art.
Ganesha?
That would be Saraswati. Norse goddess of earth, home, and fertility.
Freya?
That would be Sif. Greek goddess of the dawn.
Eos, right? Eos?
That is correct. Roman goddess of flowers and spring.
Proserpine?
That would be Flora. Greek goddess of vengeance.
Nemesis, right? Yeah. Nemesis?
Nemesis is correct. Hindu goddess of destruction.
Kali.
Kali?
Kali is correct. Aztec goddess of the moon.
This is our last one.
I think so.
Pass.
Pass.
That would be Metzli. And finally, Babylonian goddess of beauty.
Ishtar.
Ishtar.
And that is correct. Good job on that category. For Freeman, it will either be famous Johns or political writings. John, talk it over with your teammates. Let me know what you'd like to play.
Good.
I think I'm John's.
Famous Johns.
All right, I'll give you a description of a person. Name the individual for whom the name John appears somewhere in their name. The first is second President of the United States.
John Adams.
Correct. Author of Paradise Lost.
John Grisham. John Milton. John Milton.
John Milton.
John Milton is correct. Former Beatle who sang the song Imagine.
John Lennon.
Correct. Pope who died in 2005.
John. Is it John?
Yeah, John Paul.
John
Paul II.
That is correct. Founder of the Sierra Club.
John Swift.
That would be John Muir. Author of the Cider House Rules.
John Grisham.
John Irving. President of the Second Continental Congress.
John Hancock.
John Hancock.
Correct. English poet who wrote Death Be Not Proud and a valediction forbidding mourning.
John Keats.
That would be John Donne. 10th U.S. President who held office from 1841 to 1845.
Taylor.
Oh, John Quincy Adams.
That would be John Tyler.
Oh.
And finally, Jewish preacher who was the forerunner of Jesus Christ.
John the Baptist.
John the Baptist is correct. Good job by both of our teams in the category round. Up next, they'll take on another toss-up round as our championship Battle of the Brains match continues.
Battle of the Brains is always available. Find full episodes on YouTube and follow Battle of the Brains on social media.
Welcome back to Battle of the Brains.
Here are the scores following the category round here on Battle of the Brains. Our team from Ocean Lakes High School with 75 points. Our team from Douglas Freeman High School with 40 points. And now it's back to our championship match on Battle of the Brains and another toss-up round. But first, a reminder to our teams, you do lose points for interrupting a question with an incorrect answer. The other team then has the chance to answer. And there's no conferring in the toss-up rounds. Here we go. This legislation tried to appease southern slave states by creating 2 new territories. Clark.
The Compromise of 1850?
That is incorrect. I'll finish for Douglas Freeman, allowing each to determine whether it would allow slavery or not. What was the name of this 1854 law? John.
The Kansas-Nebraska Act.
That is correct. In mathematics, the higher the degree of an equation, the more curves its graph is likely to have. What is the maximum number of curves that can occur in a graph? Jackson.
4.
That is incorrect. That can occur in the graph of a 7th degree equation. Amber.
6.
That is correct. The hometown of Hans Christian Andersen and the Tivoli Gardens are some of the landmarks in what country? Clark.
Denmark.
That is correct. It's Not Over Till the Fat Lady Sings was probably influenced by what Wagner opera featuring Brunhilde, which was part of Clark.
The Ring Cycle.
That is correct. Part of the 4 operas. Founded in 1610, name the New Mexico town that is the oldest capital city in the United States. Cole.
Santa Fe.
Correct. You may need your pencil and paper for this. If a circle has an area of 49 pi square units, what is the circumference? John.
14 pi.
That is correct. You may need your pencil and paper for this. The area code for Central Virginia is 804. Express that in Roman numerals. Jackson.
DCCCIV.
That is correct. D is 500, CCC 30, H10, and then IV is 4. This man classified causes into material, formal, efficient, and final categories. Virtue is more important than good works in his Nicomachean Ethics and necessary. Clark.
Aristotle.
Correct. Student of Plato. A native of Halicarnassus, name this Greek who is called the father of history. John.
Herodotus.
That is correct. In 1929, this man became president of the Indian National Congress that would be led in future years by his daughter, Indira Gandhi. Jackson.
Mohandas Gandhi.
That is incorrect. The title Pandit or wise man was often given to which first Prime Minister of India? John.
Nehru.
Jawaharlal Nehru is correct. Nicknamed the eighth wonder of the world, name the world's first multi-purpose domed sports stadium. It's located in Houston, Texas. John.
The Astrodome.
Correct. In music, what does the double bar line at the end? Amber.
Like, no more song.
We will accept that. It means the end of a piece of music, yes. What is the past participle of the verb think? Cole.
Thought.
Correct. Name one of the two original 13 states that did not ratify the Constitution of the United States. John.
Maryland and Rhode Island.
That is incorrect. That did not ratify the Constitution of the United States until after George Washington was elected president. Robinson.
South Carolina, Rhode Island.
It's North Carolina and Rhode Island. This May 1942 World War II battle was fought entirely using airplanes. Jackson.
Midway.
That is incorrect. Name this battle in which opposition ships did not see each other and prevented Australia from being isolated. John.
Battle of the Coral Sea.
That is correct. For a resistor, it can be written as the square of the current times the resistance. Jackson.
Power dissipated.
We'll accept that. It is power, yes. All right, take a look at the video screen for another video question from a member of the Battle of the Brains Brady Bunch. And again, wait until it's completed before buzzing in. Early buzzes will not be honored.
He won a Grammy Award for Best Bluegrass Album. Les Claypool and Bob Weir played at his wedding. What stage name does guitarist and singer William Lee Apostle perform under?
Jack?
Harry Styles.
That is incorrect. Ocean Lakes? The name's just as interesting, Billy Strings. And that buzzer means one more toss-up round just ahead, and we'll double the point value. Stay tuned to see which of our teams will be this season's champion here on Battle of the Brains.
Love Battle of the Brains? Ready for your high school team to play next season? Go to battleofthebrains.net to learn more.
Welcome back to Battle of the Brains.
Here are the scores as we head now into the final round of our championship match here on Battle of the Brains. Our team from Ocean Lakes High School with 115 points. Our team from Douglas Freeman High School with 120 points. And now for this final round, the point score for a correct answer is double, but so is the penalty for an incorrect answer given before I finish the question. There's no deduction for an incorrect answer to a completed question. Good luck, teams. This is our final toss-up round. This agreement forced China to open 5 ports to British trade, authorized. George.
Is this the Treaty of Hong Kong?
That is incorrect. Authorized the establishment of consulates and ceded the island of Hong Kong. Name this 1842 treaty imposed on China after the First Opium War. Jackson.
Treaty of Nanking.
That is correct. The Mescalero, Jicarilla, and San Carlos were all bands of what Native American tribal group located in the southwestern U.S.? Jack.
Pueblo.
That is incorrect. Ocean Lakes. Jackson.
Anasazi.
They were the Apache. Published in the U.S. in 1882, it was Mark Twain's first attempt at historical fiction. Name the novel set in 1547. It tells Jack.
Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's Court.
That is incorrect. It tells the story of Tom Canty and Prince Edward. Ocean Lakes. Clark.
Connecticut Yankee in King Henry's Court.
It would actually be The Prince and the Pauper. Barack Obama won the 2009 Nobel Peace Prize. Name either of the other 2 sitting or incumbent presidents to Cole.
Jimmy Carter.
That is incorrect. To achieve this honor. John.
Teddy Roosevelt.
That is correct. In 1906 and Woodrow Wilson in 1920, Jimmy Carter won in 2002 after he left office. Pencil and paper may be needed. With respect to x, what is the derivative of the expression sine of 3x? Jackson.
3 cosine of the quantity of 3x.
Yes, that is correct. What single 6-letter word is synonymous with the phrase from where? Jackson.
Whence.
Whence is correct. Who in 1984 was the first woman to be on a major party's ticket for vice president? That would be Geraldine Ferraro. Only 2 states in the United States each border or touch 8 other states. Name either one. Cole.
Missouri?
That is correct, and Tennessee. This phenomenon is graphically linked to unemployment via the Phillips curve and is often classified into that, resulting from demand pull and cost push. Jackson.
Inflation?
Correct. Hors d'oeuvres is a fancy word for appetizer. Clark.
HORS space D'_OEUVRES.
You clearly the apostrophe. That is absolutely correct. Celebrated by Muslims worldwide, it is also called the Feast of Breaking the Fast. Cole.
Eid al-Fitr.
That is correct. Bordered on the southwest by Burkina Faso, this African country is one of the most, Cole.
Mali?
That is incorrect. It's one of the most desolate places on earth. Name this country whose capital is Niamey.
Is this Mauritania?
It's actually Niger. During William McKinley's administration, over 4,000 American troops and approximately 200,000 civilians perished as the United States successfully annexed which island? Cole.
Philippines?
That is correct, island nation. Based on 2023 Virginia Economic Development Partnership information, what country with $3.6 billion was #1 on the list of export destinations of Virginia products? John.
Canada?
Correct. Mood Indigo and Take the A Train were 2 of the many compositions. Jackson.
Duke Ellington.
Correct. This man wrote about a German who changes places with a Jew during World War II in his play Incident at Vichy. Name this dramatist of The Crucible and Death of a Salesman. Clark.
Miller?
Arthur Miller is correct. What is the name of the brightest star in the constellation Ursa Major? Robinson.
Polaris?
That is incorrect. Freeman? Amber.
Beetlejuice?
It's actually called Alioth. It's one of the 7 stars that form the Big Dipper. And that buzzer is the end of our game. While our judges double-check the final score of this championship match, here's a reminder of how to stay connected with us here on Battle of the Brains.
Stay up to date on Battle of the Brains. Follow along as your favorite teams advance this season. Visit battleofthebrains.net to learn more and follow the show on social at Battle of the Brains.
Join us next Saturday for a very special edition of Battle of the Brains. It's the All-Stars match. 8 academic athletes from across the Commonwealth will compete next week in the Battle of the Brains All-Stars edition.
And now here's the final score for our championship game here on Battle of the Brains. Ending the match with a final score of 120 points is our team from Douglas Freeman High School. Congratulations to them. Great job this season and today by George, Jack, John, and Amber. You did a great job all season long, and you've actually earned your school a scholarship of $5,000. So congratulations in coming up with that. Our winners today and champions here on Battle of the Brains, our team from Ocean Lakes High School in Virginia Beach. The Dolphins are coached by Miranda Blazer and Lisa Gibson. Great job. And you get bragging rights, you get a trophy, and you get $10,000 in scholarship money for your school. Congratulations to Robinson, Clark, Jackson, and Cole. And here's your trophy. Here you go. Congratulations. And it has been another great season for us here at Battle of the Brains. A big thank you to our judges, our production team, the schools, coaches, parents, and supporters. I'm Cheryl Miller. Thank you so much for watching and playing along here on Battle of the Brains, and we'll see you back here next week as 8 of this season's outstanding academic athletes join us for a special all-star match. Again, congratulations to our team from Ocean Lakes High School, our 2024-25 Battle of the Brains champions. Great match, teams.
Game over. Thank you for watching Battle of the Brains. Presented by Invest 529. Goodbye.